There guys, this is Jacob Smith back here again, and I have got a couple goodies here. Some of you can already guess what this is by that pipe you're seeing on the back. I am of course talking about the material of Ben Cardall. Now, this is my first exposure to Ben, and other than just chatting with him on Facebook, he's an incredibly nice guy. First off, I want to say that Ben is a very nice guy, and there's a lot of people who come out of this underground scene, and sometimes you're not really too sure about their material. Is it all that, is it something I'm going to like? Is there surefire methods? Is it a psychological approach? Is it a fusion of the two? Well, I'm happy to say Ben's is a fusion of the two, and it's a very good fusion of the two. So I'm going to start off here with the DVD Sherlockian. Ben was a pleasure to order this from. I highly recommend you buy it from him direct. I believe fully in supporting the creators overall. So, what is on here? There's about 10 routines out of Ben's professional repertoire, and they range from lie detection to spectator and developing a power and passing a power on to somebody, to solving a murder mystery that somebody creates. It's just really clever stuff. Really clever stuff. So let me go ahead and talk about a few of my favorites on here real quick. First off, I will cut right to the chase and say, if you're looking for a really clever set of ideas that satisfies that riskiness of the psychological approach, but also has this background over here of this surefire safety net of where you're good, and bearing in mind nothing's really surefire in my opinion. I've had people screw up a center tear for me before, and by that I mean they've written blah blah blah, and there's all kinds of subtleties on that. And even if you take all those subtleties, every time you're doing something you're taking a risk. So don't worry about it. We're mentalists. We don't need to worry about that shit. We're magicians. If you're a magician, you have to worry about that quite a bit, but mentalists, don't worry about it. You're good, all right? And that being said, this is extra stuff for magicians too, because it's pretty much the only way they can screw it up is if they just blatantly go at it. So, what is on here that I love so much? First off, I really, really, really love speed deduction. It fooled me. It fooled the living crap out of me. And some of you are gonna go, because it uses playing cards. Screw that. Look, I'm a big believer here in the idea that if you're believable and likable, it does not matter what you use. And first off, it doesn't. Are you really trying to convince people you can read their minds? Do you really think you're gonna be able to do that? Let's be honest here. Come on, folks. Let's think. Have we thought about it? Okay. Well, look. Basically, in here, Ben is actually really good at convincing people he can read their minds. He's extremely good at it. And while that should be our goal, I think at the end of the day, it shouldn't matter what props you have. Because there's a lot of card material on here, and I know I'm on speed deduction right now, but speed deduction is absolutely fantastic. It's just bam, 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 bam. You basically have somebody take a card out of a deck, and then you just plaster them by nailing apparently just random aspects of their life right out in front of everybody, and they are just as amazed as everybody else. Now, bearing in mind, I say that there's a little bit of reality here, but it's clever, clever stuff. Don't just stop. Just enjoy. Sherlockian, which is the actual namesake of the project, the routine in that I thought was really great too, and has a really nice piece that you can get. It just looks great, whether you're doing it out in the public or out on stage, whatever. And it is a psychological beginning and intro into it. But at the end, it leads to this beautiful prediction inside of a ring box. And we're not talking about the traditional kind of ring boxes here. Could you use your whatever the little clear prediction boxes are? I don't own one personally, so yeah, you could, but why? I think it just takes away from some of the storytelling that's in the piece. But if you want to present it and that's your way of doing it, I say go for it. I love the way Ben presents this in here, and I love his presentations, even though, sadly enough, I know that my style will never fit the Sherlock Holmes kind of stuff he does. But that being said, I'm going to use some of this material, especially the one I'm about to get to right now, which is 3-point problem. It is so clever. Okay, so there's a lot of I see a lot of stuff. Obviously, I see a lot of stuff, but 3-point problem is really interesting because it's essentially like a ritual in a way for somebody to kind of get a better grasp of their problem. And while you're doing that, at the same time, you're creating this kind of bigger thing for the audience watching, where at one point they can't even distinguish what their problem was that they had on their billet. And I think that's a really clever idea. I really enjoyed that. It's kind of got a fusion. Ben knows how to, he creates a nice blend of stuff. He just throws stuff together, picks out the pieces that aren't needed, and then he presents them in such a great way. And that's what I think really stands out about his work in general. I'll say one of the last ones I really enjoyed on this. Obviously, so far I've talked about speed deduction and 3-point problem. The last one is becoming the man. This got me too. Ben, I know you're watching. You're clever. So, what this basically is, becoming the man in the way that Ben presents it here. And bear in mind, once again, you can make this work any way. Anyway. Oh, look, the DVD is floating. Okay, that's stupid. But, point being, in becoming the man, you apparently can give the spectator the ability to see all of the finite details of a situation that's been predicted via a printed newspaper article in his presentation, but it could be anything. And I think the newspaper article is great, and I think that's how I'd personally use it. You basically give them the ability to see the finite details inside of a photo. So they look at the photo, and it's just a simple photo, and everyone sees clearly there's nothing too defined in it to give much away. And they start naming things like shoe size, like they take guesses at what the shoe size, they take guesses at this, that, the other, and it's got an awesome climax on it where you actually do a drawing duplication of something they intuited via the Sherlockian deduction method that you've given them by touching this amazing deerstalker hat. You give them the ability to see all these things, and you can do a drawing duplication at the end to really sell it and sail it home. And then at the end, they are just as mind-screwed as the rest, and they have no idea how they were able to get these things. And it's so great, because obviously all of you watching, you know there is going to be some dual reality in play here, but dual reality just goes, it's like this. I love dual reality. It does this. These are the elements, and there's the two realities. They're out here, and they slowly come together, and clink! Right there at the end. There's no way of figuring out. And that's what sold me on this, too. I see a lot of this stuff, too, once again, and becoming the man really got me hardcore, just as speed deduction did, and 3-point problem was just fantastic as a piece itself. Now there's lots of other stuff on here. There's Saidu, which is Psychic Cluedoac. There's Rainman, which is a memorized deck routine. There's the psychometric system. There's 3 Truths and a Lie, which is brilliantly simple and amazing, gives you actual techniques for lie detection. I forgot to mention one. There's one that's really great. Okay, I'm gonna do this one right now. We're gonna go in a longer video. I like to keep these at strictly 10 minutes, but I really want to get in on this guy, and then we're gonna move into Rationation right after that. Okay, so the Twitches theory for me is awesome, and the reason for that is really simple. Like, okay, so this is what my new kind of thing I'm moving towards right now is creating more visuality on stage, and that's something that mentalism I feel lacks quite a bit of. At least in the style of just pure mind-reading approach and this and that, and I'm trying to add that in right now. So, in the Twitches theory, you have a bunch of envelopes on a table, and the spectator thinks of a bunch of memories based on these emotions that you have on stickers. Now, these stickers are not like there's no dual reality here. Your spectator is getting the same experience as everybody else. First off, let's get that straight. Now, on the stickers, there's emotions like happiness, sadness, that kind of stuff. It's really just a variety. I think if I remember right, there's 6 total. They are asked to think of a memory based on each one and just make a quick note of it, whatever, on a pad. They take it off, boom, and from then on, they hover their hand over the envelopes. It concentrates on the emotion and the memory, and you're able to tell what memory they're thinking of, and they're allowed to think of anyone they want to. Anyone. This is not a force or anything. This is, bearing in mind, it's a really clever technique that it's something real too. It's that kind of 15% that Ben plays with, and he's gotten so good at that it's no longer like it's no longer much of a gambit for him. He's just got it down, and we can get it down too because it's such a simple concept. Anyway, they put the stickers on each one of the envelopes as they're going along. And on a few of them, you can get some of the details as to what the particular memories were about. And each time they do this, they're literally placed over the side in full view the whole time. The envelopes are not switched. Got you there, didn't I, in the description? So, after all of it, then you clearly open each envelope and there's nothing. And until it come out, and it's pictures of, in this case, it's pictures of Ben with all of the emotions displayed on his face, and you can clearly tell which one is which, and written on the back of each card is the emotion as well, to clarify that there's no ambiguity. Clever. Really, really sorry. Oh, God. Sorry, Ben. I didn't mean to just bang your DVD like that. But anyway, very clever. I really enjoyed that. Obviously, the production quality in this is excellent. There's a lot of time and love put into this, just like everything that Titanus releases. And you can tell Ben has a genuine passion for this stuff. One of my favorite parts was the interview segment here, because Ben is straight up just a really great character. I don't know. I wouldn't call. I hate saying character because it makes it sound like he's not him, but he's fully just himself and just really, really kind. I'm going to stop on this because I can go on forever about this, but I wanted you to pick it up and check it out instead so you can go on forever about it as well. I'm going to transfer over to Rationation. So this really complements this in a lot of ways. They're not, you don't need one for the other. This is a completely new volume on its own. But what this is basically, it's a book that has a lot of stuff once again. Thank you, Ben, for signing this. You're a real gent, and yes, I will just deduce it. So what is in here is a series of effects. The main concept is being able to tell between a truth and a lie. So it's a lot of truth and liar related material, but it's very different from 3 Truths and a Lie from the DVD, for those of you wondering. So you're not just rebuying stuff. Now, you know, I can personally say, because I've been sitting on this for about a week or two, that it's not just me that's really enjoying this stuff. My friend Fraser and I were talking about the other day, Fraser Parker, and for those who don't know, Mr. Ross Taylor, and Ross is a Ross is a clever dude. I can't wait to get on an interview with him. If you're watching this, Ross, cheers, man, you're awesome. What's inside of this is a series of really clever truth or lie routines with genuine deduction work. Some of you are going, oh man, it's not, no, there's no billet peaks, there's no billet peaks. No, there's no billet peaks. And if you want billet peaks, go buy something with billet peaks, okay? This is not one of those books. This is a book on purely propless mentalism. If you can even call it mentalism, genuine deduction even. It's clever. So, one of the things that I really enjoy in here, I have to find out exactly what Ben calls it in here. I think it's sugar theory, if I remember right. Sugar theory, where's it at? Oh, I want to make sure that's it. Oh man, Sugar Theory. The Sugar Theory. Quick flash. It's extremely good, and there's ways to deduce what kind of people, how people are, with just by looking at them. The cool thing is, by the end of this book, he gives you a complete structure, so someone can go, bing, selfie, send it to you, without ever talking to them, and you can then give a solid truth and liar effect over Messenger, text, whatever. I mean, it's brilliant. It's extremely clever stuff. And the thing is, they're none the wiser as to how it could work. There are other things in here, too. There's some card effects in here. Bearing in mind, it's not card effects that, you know, really use any kind of slides in. They're all justified. The cards are just there as a kind of control. There's ideas with coins in here and deducing coins that someone's holding, which I like those a lot. I love anything related to coins. For those of you who don't know, I'm an underground coin junkie. Kainoa Harbottle is a personal hero of mine. Other things in here is there's the Guess Who routine, which I really like, where you can literally have a series of pictures, and if you want to get really clean and proper with this, you can even go as far as to have pictures on your phone and an album, and they stroke through them and think of one of the people, and then you're able to deduce which person it is without any kind of app or anything, which I really like. You don't have to take the phone back at all. You literally just have this series of pictures. It can be your friends, whatever. And I think using friends is the best way because, one, it gives you a good starting off point. I think if I was going to reframe the Guess Who to fit my style, which I'm going to do here soon, I'm going to go around and take a bunch of pictures with my friends, just with one another, and take them in interesting places, and then do the Guess Who routine with that, so that you are showing and showcasing how much of a, how many your friends and everything, and you can put different pictures of people that are really prominent in there, and have interesting stories to tell with the pictures as well. So go for that if you like that. I like that kind of conversational style to it, so take that if you want, but it's brilliant in there. I really like that. Making sure I'm getting everything in here. Also, the beautiful thing about, the number 4, Rationation routine number 4. This is the one you guys, those of you who've seen Ben, have probably had it performed on them and had their minds completely screwed up. So, it's a name guess. A billetless name guess using deduction, as well as a pretty old method, but there's nothing written down. And it's very workable. I actually really like this method a lot, and think that it has so much possibility into it that it's kind of bonkers. And I've seen Ben work it before on his his videos and such, and it just works extremely well, and it's propless. That being said, I know Ben's recently converted over to Ouija by Fraser Parker, which is one of my favorites. I love it. And he has some great variations on it too. But this is something you should pick up. If you want to do anytime, anywhere, whatever, and actually be able to say what you're doing and do it too, bingo! This is it. You don't have to have a Sherlock Holmes setup for this. One of the things I like to do is one of the things I think is really cool you can do is you can say, look, some people, so of course I'm not a real mind reader. And they kind of get in, they go, ooh. And then you say, what I really use is a set of deductionary skills, and I'm kind of mentally, trying to intuit what you're thinking. It kind of just comes to me automatically. I'll tell you what, can I show you kind of an example of this? One of the things I'm good at is being able to tell if people are lying or not. And then you move into that. So regardless if you're psychic or whatever, I think that works in there really nice. So all in all, both Ben Cardalls are highly recommended, and I hope you pick them up. Show Ben some love. Really, please do. He's a great guy. I'm really excited to see what comes out next for him, and support his new web show coming out, The Deductionist. If you haven't seen it yet, I think the trailer's only up right now, but search Ben Cardall Deductionist on YouTube. You'll find it. It's great. And with that, I hope you all enjoy. Have a great day.